Good morning, everybody. Just getting things situated here a little early before 10. Let's make sure we're all connected and ready to go. This is the all-inclusive kit. Hello, dear friend. These are the pre-made cards, and today we're going to be making our first alternative card. So we'll just give it a minute to see if anybody comes on with me. I'm just logging in so that I can see the comments. Okay. All right, so we are watching this. This is live in the Creative Chelsey Facebook group. And if you're watching the replay, you could be watching it in this group as well or on YouTube. If you're watching it on YouTube and you do have a Facebook account, you should think about joining my Creative Chelsey Facebook group as well. And there is a link in the description box below for that. So I have gone ahead and made a bunch of alternatives. And today I'd like to share with you this first one. This is our first alternative I will be making. We're going to be using the card base here from card number 1. I'll show you the cards. So these are the original cards that you can make with the kit. And for our alternative card, I've used this card base here and then cut it down. I've used an envelope for the green stripes, and then I've kept it pretty simple and just added a label with a greeting and then a little bit of twine. So let me count how many alternatives I was able to make from this card kit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think that one has 2. So I have 8 alternative cards, and that's after I've made all of the pre-designed cards. So that would be 8 plus 4 is 12. And it does say that it makes 12 as well. Is that right? Yeah, 12 cards. But you have to remember that I've actually doubled all my alternatives. So it's really 8 times 2. So that would be 16. And so all I needed to do, so I tried to keep the extra supplies minimal. So that if you have purchased the kit, you don't need to go and purchase a bunch of other things to make my alternatives. All you need is a package of thick, basic white cardstock. And so that's the card bases I've used. All of them are basic white, thick cardstock. And then I also enjoy adding some rhinestones. And so I've added the champagne rhinestones. And those are all, that's it. That's all you need to make most of my alternatives. Some of them do have a little bit of, some techniques here and there. You can choose to do them if you want, or you don't have to. And you may already have something in your craft area that may work for those. And we'll get to that on another day when we do those alternatives. It looks like we have a couple people who've joined us. Hello, Joanne and Diana. Good morning to you guys. Hope you've had a nice morning so far and you're excited for your day. This is the alternative card we're making today. And I was just talking a little bit about some of the extra products that you need and how for all of my alternatives, we're keeping them very minimal. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put these other cards away since we're done with those. For those of you who don't know what comes in these are all-inclusive kits. So they're everything that you need to create the pre-designed cards are in the kit. So you get your stamp set, you get a clear block and the Misty Moonlight Stampin' Spot. You also get some adhesive and everything else, and the twine and everything you need for that. The only things I'm adding extra to this card would be some champagne rhinestones and then the card base. Okay. Looks like Lisa has joined us. Good morning, Lisa. All right, so I've just grabbed my paper trimmer so we can get started making this card. So I have used the inside of this envelope for this background piece, and it's just cut slightly smaller than the normal size card base. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to start with the bottom edge, and I'm just going to trim off the smallest amount here. My goal is just to remove that folded edge so that I'm opening up the envelope. Then I'm going to rotate and again cut off a very small piece. And now I can open this envelope up and I can start to trim it down. So I don't want this white edge here, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim it inside that striped area. And then I'm going to go ahead and rotate, and we're going to go with a piece that is 4 1/8. So you can go ahead and cut right at that measurement. There are some alternative pieces that use more thinner pieces of stripes, and so you can save this top piece if you'd like. There's also a lot of envelopes, so if you want to throw that away because you need to simplify your life, that is fine too. So now we've rotated and we're cutting at 5 inches and 3/8. Okay, so it's just 1/8 smaller than the 5.5 inches, which is pretty close to the edge. So that's pretty much edge to edge of the printed paper. Okay. Oh, look, I put an envelope in my packet, so we'll just move that over there. All right, so then you're going to take the yellow flower card base that comes in the kit, and we are going to trim it down just a little bit. So we're going to cut it right in half at the score line. So that's at 4 1/4 inches. Okay, and then we're going to remove a little bit of the top and a little bit at the bottom so that we get, we're looking for just the flowers in the area that's about 4 1/8 tall. Okay, so just kind of, sometimes you have to start on one side not knowing exactly where you want it to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut there. I know I want to keep my flowers, so I've just left a little gap above my flowers, and then again rotate, and now I can measure it to 4 1/8 and just make sure that I have the stem, the bottom of the stem in that area, and then I'm going to cut. So this is the piece that's going to go on our card now, and these pieces are just trash. You can throw those away. You do want to keep these extra pieces for some other alternatives. We will be especially using the back of that card base, so hold on to those. You do need to have a card base, and I decided to just use white. If you have, I think this is Old Olive, then you could use an Old Olive card base to just kind of bring out that edge a little bit. You could use a yellow or even a pink would be cute. But I wanted them all to be nice and simple, and if you don't have any supplies and are interested in making these alternative cards, I wanted these supplies to be minimal. And so all you need is just a thick, basic white card base, and it has been cut to 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches and scored at 4 1/4. So go ahead and fold that in half. Good morning, Liz. Just saw that you're on. We're kind of moving quickly through this card. It's a very simple alternative card. And so we have just finished cutting all of our pieces. And I am trying to line this up. I know I scored it, but it doesn't seem to be lining up quite right. There we go. Okay, so then if you have a bone folder or something similar, go ahead and just press down on that fold to get a nice crease there. So we've cut a piece from our envelope, and I'm just going to go ahead and add that to the middle and center of my card. And if you don't have any other adhesive, you can do this with some glue dots. I'm going to go ahead and just use my Stampin' Seal. It's just faster application than those little glue dots. I'm just adding it to the corners and along the edges. And just placing that right in the center. There'll be a small little edge all the way around. Okay, so you're going to get something like that. And this is the card we're making for those of you who've just joined. So next we cut down a card base. This is the one with the yellow wash and the pink flowers. And we've cut it to 4 1/8 and then just 4 1/4, which is the width of that card base, what it was. So we just cut it right along that score line and then cut to 4 1/8. Now I played around with just the placement of this, and it can go anywhere. There's no right or wrong. You could do a nice thin 1/4 of an inch here on the left and really open it up on the right and then place the greeting there. You could swap it and do a lot more on the left and little on the right. You could even just place it right in the center. So that is totally up to you. And that's the fun thing about these alternative cards, is coming up with your own placement, using my ideas and coming up with your own things. So we're just adding this right to our card, again with some adhesive. And I'm going to add it. I like the look of it being on the left, so I'm just going to add it with about 1/4 of an inch or so, not too skinny. Oh, sorry about that notification. I forgot to put my phone on do not disturb, but we're almost done, so we'll be okay. All right, so that's where I've placed it. Now we're going to take the long rectangle label that came from the kit, and you could use any greeting here. I like the one, "You Make My Heart Smile," for this card. So to place these on my card, on the clear block, excuse me, I like to lay them down and then just pick them up on the clear block. And I think I'll do it just at an angle so it fits nicely on that block. And then open up your ink. And I hold my ink. When I'm doing a small Stampin' Spot, I hold it. If I have a large ink pad, then I normally would hold my stamp. And I would use a different clear block, especially if I'm inking it up with a big ink pad, because then my fingers don't get in the ink. Okay, so here we go. This is all inked up nicely. And then you're just going to center it. It's nice that it's a photopolymer stamp so you can see right through it. So center it and then slowly lower it. And then nice even pressure all over. Try not to rock it. Mine's rocked a couple times, but it turned out okay. Sometimes when you rock it, it shifts slightly and then you get like a second image there. So you can clean these with a baby wipe. You can run them under some water, Or you can use the Shammy, which is a really great product. So it's just a foam chamois, and you just rub your stamp along it and it removes the ink. You can also just press. And to clean this, you just run it under some water and squeeze it like you would a regular chamois. It does not come in a clear case, but you can purchase these separately and keep it inside that so that it holds the water a little better and it doesn't ruin your projects if by chance you placed it on a card or something. I thought I pre-cut my ribbon, but maybe I didn't. Oh, maybe I didn't. Okay. So this ribbon is, now I can't remember. Let's just measure it. So I'm just going to measure starting on one edge, kind of wrap it around, and let's see how wide that is. Probably just a couple inches. So 2.5, so that would be 5. I bet it's, oh, I wish I would have written that down. Oh, ribbon is 8 inches. Okay, I did write it down. I just had a look. Okay, so I'm going to measure 8 inches for the ribbon. And then you do need a pair of scissors, paper snips. And you're just going to cut that right there. And then to make this bow, what I did is took a glue dot, and in the bottom left corner here, so I'm going to flip it so it's this side here, I'm going to add a glue dot. Hi Donna, glad you're able to join us. She says that she loves this card and it has elegance. I'm so glad. It's nice and simple. And so I really wanted to keep these cards simple so that you could get a lot of cards from this kit. So we have, I came up I think with 8 different alternative cards, and then I'm using the supplies to make a second of each. So that's 16 cards after I made the original 4. So you can get, oh, what am I doing? You can get 20 cards from this kit. Or more even. Okay, so I have 8 inches of this cord. I have a glue dot in the bottom corner, and I'm going to put my ends together, find the middle. I'm rotating that so that the angle of the cord is coming across that glue dot. Okay, and then this cord is really curled, so you're just going to curl it. Just kind of lay it down so that curl is going to your benefit. So it's kind of helping make the loops for this. Now, if you need to add a second glue dot over that first one, you can, just to add more adhesive and to hold that bow in place. And then we'll do the same thing here, trying to work with that curl of the ribbon. I really want that end to show, so I might have to curl it going this way, like that. So you can see that we've created that bow shape right in the bottom of our label there. And then I am going to add one more glue dot over all that, just to hold it together. I can leave the paper on if I want, or I can keep it off and then I could press it into my card to hold it in place. I think I'll just leave it on for now. Okay, then you will grab your dimensionals that came in the kit and add a couple to the center of the label. And then we will place this on our card. I just want it in kind of a space here where there's no flowers. It will come off the card slightly, or come off of this middle yellow section. That's turning out really cute. And then to really step it up, we're going to add these rhinestones. And these are a really inexpensive product. So if you're already purchasing the cardstock, make sure to add these to your order. So then I love the Take a Pick tool. This is one of my tools I use all the time when I'm crafting. It has this putty end, and you saw me use it to pick up the glue dots. And I also use it to pick up and add rhinestones to my card. So I'm going to use a large one and place it up here. And let's do 2 small ones with it to kind of create 3 little rhinestones together. And then let's take a medium size and we'll place it down here a little further down, just to add a little more bling around those flowers. Okay, and you guys, that card's done. And I talked my way through it, and so it really didn't take very long at all to put that card together. It looks like Jane has just joined us. Hi, Jane. We just finished our card, but make sure to check back and watch the replay if you missed how to make this. So thanks so much for joining me this morning. Next Saturday, we will make the second alternative card for this kit. I'll just give you a quick sneak peek. It turned out really pretty, but we're using some sponging to create this fun background. And I love that blue. So we do need another tool here for this one. You can use either sponge daubers, you could use just a regular sponge, or the new blending brushes, which is what I'll be using to create the background. So that's a really pretty one. So hopefully you can join me next Saturday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time for this card. Okay, guys, thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and have a creative day. Bye.